How's it come to this? If I'm honest with you, I'm a little bit embarrassed because this is another level of gross, well, gross visually. I mean, in terms of tank health, it's actually pretty realistic as the shallows of maybe the lake that these fish are from, which is Lake Tanganyika cichlids they are. Well, there will be shallow areas that are just blasted by sunlight and just kind of like this. But yeah, why has it got like this though? Well, as someone who prides themselves on being able to produce tanks and actively promote tanks really that are kind of self-sustaining, self-balancing, look after themselves, this is like mega far removed from what I preach. So why is my home tank like it? I guess it's a little bit like the analogy of a cleaner's house. If the cleaner's job, if that doesn't make sense. If someone's a cleaner as their job and they come home, they've quite often got a dirty house, or like a builder who builds all day and they've still got like the footings for an extension for 2 years or something like that. Maybe this is one of those things, but in actual fact, it's not just that. There is also another element of me leaving this. Something very exciting was happening a few months back, about a month and a half ago, and it made me stop doing any maintenance to the tank. Let's be honest though, before I can actually show you anything, I need to get this glass scraped, at least to get things started. Oh, I've got a nice fresh blade on this as well, look at that. Oh, there's something very satisfying actually about doing this. Look, you can see all the mineral deposits along the front of the top line. That's all of the minerals that are in the Sirius stone. Just got to work my way through all this really. Just going to take my time with it, not rush it too much. All of this is going to be coming out as well. And not the tank, I'll explain in a minute, but all of the algae will be. Oh, I'm sure that was quite satisfying on camera. Look at that fairy cichlid in the middle there. Absolute beauty. And to be honest, that is one of the things that I wanted to show you. So, oh, the lupi at the back, look. See how they've got more of an orange sort of tone to them? Well, that's because they've been grazing on algae and it's kind of dulled their colours. Once we fix that though, it should come back to a more sort of yellowy colour. Not that it's bad, it's quite nice. Look at the shellies there, look. So all the fish that I originally put in here, well, a long time ago now, they're all doing really great. I lost a couple, as you tend to always do when you fill a tank with, you know, different species and whatnot, but there's actually a really good balance now. So one of the cutest and most amazing fish is the gold ocellatus. There's a little tiny shell dweller. It's actually in that shell there, that really gunky one. Come on, he was just out. I picked up the camera, flew back in there. Oh, there you go. You can sort of see from this angle. Not great because the glass is distorting it. It'll come out in a minute, hopefully. Right, I've backed away on my tripod, look, right in the middle. Oh, you did see it. Oh, there we go. Look, next to the multi. So the multi's being a bit naughty there. Leave them alone. They don't really bully each other. They're absolutely fine. But oh, just as I moved slightly, did you catch it? Hopefully you saw it there. And you might have actually noticed up in the rock in here, this whole section is a big sort of cave structure. And right inside that little crack is the home to a pair of cichlids, specifically fairy cichlids. Do you know what's actually quite interesting now is, now that I've scraped the glass and I'm actually looking at the tank through the camera which frames it, when it's zoomed in like that, how absolutely like natural does it look? Like it does look like a real environment. I mean, we have a tendency to want to keep our tanks like really, really clean, don't we? which I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but that really isn't what nature's like at all. I think it's very rare you'd come across like a shallow stream or something that's full of plants with no algae. Like, I think it doesn't exist probably. Kind of like this algae and stuff that you're seeing in the tank here is all just part of life and a biome and everything sort of working together. I'd imagine if an area is void of algae, then it's void of other life as well in the wild. I mean, I'm taking a guess there, but logically that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Or maybe I'm just making excuses for the algae in my tank. No, Kate, it's fine. That's my wife. It's just nature. So as I was alluring to before, one of the main reasons that I stopped doing any cleaning or anything, touching the tank, anything at all, I just left it alone, is because of the fairy cichlids. So you can just see this one coming out here of one of the caves that they've made. The sand was piled up nice and high in there, and they've dug it all out in the foreground here, look, and just sort of let it spew out. And they're always defending that cave. And more recently now, I've seen that this one is over here defending this cave, which has also been hollowed out as well. And why are they doing that here, you ask? Well, I mean, initially I assumed it was just a territorial thing, because I couldn't sex the fish. Like, they look the same. There's very, very tiny telltale signs of sex between them. Turns out, male and female. And I just kept seeing them darting in and out of these caves, not letting anything go near it. And then one day I was looking incredibly closely at the holes, just trying my best, thinking they have got to be breeding in there. And I saw a lot of babies. Now, this was very cool to see because, you know, I assumed that's why they're being so territorial, but to actually see the babies was just like, oh, wow, finally. And then for several days, me and my wife, we kept coming in these caves and looking and seeing if they're okay, like if they haven't been eaten or anything. And for a good week, they're all doing really well and they kept growing. And things were looking really good. And then one day I came in after work, I was looking more, I just couldn't see them anywhere. And sadly, they'd all been eaten. And I think what had happened is they'd got big enough that they weren't so sort of afraid of leaving the nest, so to speak. And they'd start exploring the aquarium. And as a result, you know, very, very easy to pick off by some of the other cichlids in here. I mean, any fish that will fit in another fish's mouth will eventually get eaten. Kind of. I mean, Chunks in the studio, he's pretty good. He's a big boy and he leaves all the small fish alone. But in something like this, where everything's a cichlid, everything's on the scavenge, yeah, I don't think they stood much of a chance. Or so I thought. Because literally a few minutes ago, as I was just doing a little bit of B-roll shots of the tank, I was looking in this right-hand cave here and just doing like a little pan across like this. And then in the midsection, I saw a little baby fish, but it wasn't teeny tiny baby. It was an exact replica of the fairy cichlid you can see there, but maybe like 1/10 of the size. So still very small, but large enough that it's fast, aware of the predators above it. You know, the sardine cichlids we've got there. And it stayed low and it swam between the two cave systems of these two mountains that we've got in here, which was really awesome. It's the first time I've seen babies for a long time, well, at least one baby, and it was a lot larger than any I've ever seen before. Now, I don't just want you to take my word for it, so what I'm going to do is set up the camera here, click record in that zone, and just walk away, and just let it run and run and run, and I'm going to check the footage back. Oh, well, I was waiting for ages and ages there, but wasn't to be for now. But what I'm going to be doing is cleaning up everything in this tank soon. Maybe in that process, I'm going to see this baby, at least this one baby, come out. If I do, I can show you that later. But in the meantime, I need to make a start in sorting everything out. Now, where do we start? Well, I've only scraped the front glass at the moment. So let's get the rest of the glass clean. I mean, even that in itself is going to make it look amazing. And what I'm trying to do here when I scrape is I'm trying to push all the algae to the bottom of the tank. So it's just easy then just to siphon all up with a hose. Well, I've just had some very fantastic news. I was scraping this panel on the tank. All of a sudden I saw something flying around at fast speed and I was like, what on earth is that? Well, if you look on that back panel there, Oh, it's kind of blurry. Let me see if I can get under the water and see. Oh, it's just out of focus. Hang on. There we go. Look at that. That is a teeny tiny baby pleco. And that baby has come from down here. So if we look in this shell, you can see there's a honeycomb pleco in there. And I've seen it fanning away many, many times. And yeah, scraping nearby there. So the baby must have been staying near, or that could have been just a coincidence, because that one you can see on the side just then, that's not a newborn. Oh, there we go. See, it's fanning. There's obviously eggs in there. There's going to be more babies soon. The great thing is that when they get to that size, they're going to be pretty much safe from anything in the tank. I mean, it's still very, very tiny, but yeah, really cool. I love it when like you see new babies and they've naturally been able to survive without me intervening at all. I think there's something really, really nice about that. So that's all the glass cleaned up. Now there's obviously a load of crud floating in the water. That's going to go into the filter as I continue to, do this cleaning job. But that's fine, because I'm going to clean all that out as well. Now, it's not just algae that's covering everywhere. Well, it's like normal algae and blue-green algae, which isn't actually an algae at all. Oh, there's the gold ocellatus. Look at that. It's a very, very cool fish. So cute. It always looks like it's petrified. But yeah, the blue-green algae is not an algae. It's a cyanobacteria, which kind of just blankets everything like a slime. Yeah, look at it here. Look, it kind of behaves. Look at it all. It's all part of the whole sand structure. It's like one big alien organism. Look at that. Ugh. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's all good telling us what it is and showing cleaning it up, but how do you get rid of it for good? Well, I've got to do this maintenance first, and after that, I need to make changes to the way the tank is working to make sure that it doesn't come back, or to massively reduce it at least. I'm pretty sure though I can get it to be dialed right down to a point where there's barely any of it again. There's another reason why I didn't just want to clean this routinely, is because I wanted to sort of show you guys how to combat something like this, because this is the sort of thing that can happen to people's tanks and they just go, I'm not doing this anymore. I cannot get rid of it. It keeps coming back and I'm sick of cleaning it. I'm not enjoying it. I quit. And I don't want you to do that. So hopefully I can really help you in this video. So the algae and cyanobacteria, they are quite similar in a way, because they both tend to turn up when there's like too much light, for instance. That can be a big problem for algae, especially when there's a lot of waste and things in the water column. Nitrates, high nitrates can cause algae blooms and things like that. Basically, the algae's got food to feed on. Yeah, that makes sense. The difference I've found with cyanobacteria though is there's two factors. First of all, in areas of low flow or no flow, and also too much light. If you add flow in an area and the light's down a bit, it'll always sort of tend to go away on its own. Apparently it's ever present in everywhere. It's like one of the most common bacteria in the whole planet. So it is everywhere. You'll never sort of not got it. It's there. It's just in certain situations it can multiply in huge numbers and get that like jelly-like look to it. So yeah, it's always there. You're not getting rid of it. You're just sort of stopping it forming, if you like. Now, one of the reasons I say that it likes light and low flow or next to no flow is that, look, if you look at my home tank that I've got here, if you look down in the substrate, all the way along it, look, is cyanobacteria, but there is none anywhere else in the tank. So the side here is getting hit with light, ambient light, even light from the tank to a degree, but there's no flow of any water, because obviously the sand is pressed up against the glass, and yet there it is, but it's nowhere else will you find it in the tank. So yeah, no flow and light. So it's now the next day, the water's cleared up somewhat, and now it's time to go around with our hose and bucket here, or jug thingy, whatever it is, and just try and get into as much of that cyanobacteria as we can, take as much out manually as we can, because in a minute we're going to put a chemical in that sort of kills it all dead, and kind of will stop it coming back as well once I make some other adjustments. But we want to get out as much as we can by hand initially. This container is not that big, and I've got quite a big area to cover, so I just need to be a little bit sort of observant as I'm doing this. It's a big pipe, you see, so it comes up quite fast. Whoa, that's very crusty. Need to be a little bit careful because I've got lots of small things and that in here. Oh, it's like right down into the whole substrate. It's coating everything like this weird kind of alien life form or something. I don't know what I'm saying really, but you can see this area here where one of the bristlenose or something has dug a load up, which is doing me a favour. It comes up nice and easy, which is good. Look at that. You've got to take up a little bit of sand with it, but that's alright. I don't mind doing that. Oh, there's loads underneath that. You can always replace the sand if we need to. We're halfway up. Okay, we're doing well. It's far better to try and get out as much as we can now, you know, before we actually add any chemicals to kill it all. Oh, we're nearing the surface. Of course, this is going to get really bright on camera because I'm now revealing a load of like proper fresh sand. Okay, call it quits there before I overflow. Right, round two, here we go again. Look at that, look at it, it's like this crusty shell on everything. It's not very nice at all. Gotta be quick though. Actually reducing the water way too much in the tank, so I will top that up in a second as well. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that now, but I need to get some water in this. It's way too low. There's still a ton more cleaning to do, but you know, I need to do another water change and everything after I've added in a chemical in a minute that kills the cyanobacteria. The whole rocks and everything should look different as well as time goes by. So now that we've cleaned out most of the cyanobacteria that's on the surface anyway, we can now add this chemical here. This is absolutely brilliant. It just kills it dead. Also, it stops it coming back for a good while as well. But if you don't do other things, it will come back. So there's multiple things we need to do. First of all, add in the treatment. So I've prepared the exact amount required for this that's suggested on the labelling, the packaging of the product. And it's just a case of pouring it in initially. That's all of it. It's very potent actually, you don't need a lot of it. And then you have to increase aeration or surface agitation. I'll just bring my wave maker right to the surface here. There you go. Rustling it all around. And also the surface skimmer as well is breaking water tension and everything like that. So that'll be absolutely fine. Now there's a couple of reasons we're actually in this mess. Number one, the lighting is way too high. Because the sand is such a light colour, it's like doubly light on the sand surface. When you combine that with low flow setup, because initially I was just pointing the wave maker at the surface because I really like the ripples. But in my other tank where it's doing really well, the same kind of tank setup with my BUSINESS cichlids, I don't get any of these problems at all. Now the surface skimmer was pointed at the bottom. There's nowhere near as high lighting as well, so I'm going to dial those back. So I'm not even sure what they're currently on. So that they're on 8. Whoa. Okay, that's 80%. That's too much. That's 40. That's 20. It's also the wrong colouring, so I'm going to turn everything down and start again and come up to what I think would be the right amount. Okay, that's everything on as low as it can go. It's a weird colour, isn't it? So I'm just going to bring up the workout. I'm just looking at reflection to see what does the blue LEDs. That's not blues. That's not blues. That's not blues. Bottom one. There we go. There's the blue LEDs. I'm just going to turn those up slightly. Do you know what? I think that is probably about right. Yeah, that's nowhere near as bright as it was before. But it's bright enough to see everything and it all looks good. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'm going to let the magic of that chemical do its cleaning and come back tomorrow. Do some more siphoning. Loads of it will be completely gone. Right, it's a new day, and as you can see, actually it's been 2 days since we put in the treatment, and as you can see, things are looking 10 times better. There is a few bits of dead cyano I can see on like the glass and stuff, so I'm going to scrape that off in a bit.
I'm going to do a massive water change as well, because this tank has never had a water change, which isn't that surprising given how it looked, right? I also need to clean the filter out and all that sort of thing. I do want to give the rocks a little scrub though, so I've got a metal brush for that. Yes, this one here, look. I think it's used for like mechanics for cleaning brake calipers or something, but works really well for rocks as well. Now my Cichlid aquarium in the studio, well, that doesn't get water changes, and it doesn't get anything like into the mess that we've seen here. Now I think that's partially because the lights that I've got on there are way less harsh than these ones. So I bet you the nitrites in this tank, I mean I'll test in a minute, but I bet the nitrites in this tank are really low, not necessarily high at all. The algae's coming from the lights. The nitrites in my other tank, which again doesn't have plants in it, I mean recently I put a couple in, but it doesn't have like loads and loads of plants in it at all. And they stay really low just because, you know, it's just got a perfect balance of fish numbers to feeding and that kind of thing. One of the things that tank's actually got as well is it's got cyanodontist catfish, and what they do is they come down and they're constantly stirring this all up, whereas I haven't actually got any fish in here apart from the bristlenose that do that. But they're nowhere near as like doing it as often, whereas the cyanodontists are all over the tank regularly. This brush is doing nothing. The colouring is kind of stained on the rocks. Kind of wasting my time here really. It's not really doing anything apart from making that one spot look better. But to go around and do that on everything would take forever. I think I'll just get off some of the worst parts. I actually quite like the greening on the rock. I mean, it's massively natural and the sort of thing you'd get, you know, wherever these fish are from. I'm actually just making some loose, which I don't want to do because they've got the right colouring. If I flip these rocks around, they're going to be like pure grey. It's going to look silly. And this is one of these things now where I'm going to get all the algae under control. Over time, the algae eaters, the bristlenose, are going to work their way over it, and it'll probably all end up looking like that, with the little green bits in it, which I actually really like. But I'm not doing anything really here with this wire brush. That's, you know what I mean? I'm going to be here forever. You can't go around and do all of this. Well, I could, but you know, I have got a life as well. So I think what I need to do now is just a massive water change. You know, there's a lot of crud on the surface, and I want to stir that sand right up as I'm doing the water change so it can take it out, chuck it outside. There's also a load of dead cyanobacteria just sat there like a sheaf now on some of the sand as well. We want to get that right out. And overall, it's just going to look miles better with some fresh water in there. Like, hopefully you can see, look, there's kind of like a weird greeny tinge to everything. Obviously, I've also just scrubbed off a load of green as well. But, oh, hello, guys. Look at you, patiently just waiting. What's he going to do? What are you going to do, punk? Oh, look at you in the shadows. Wow. Might have noticed that the colouring has slightly changed on the tank now. I had a different white balance set up on the camera from the studio. I forgot to change it for the lights in the house, which are a much sort of warmer colour. You have to change the settings in the camera. And now it's set to how I'm actually seeing the tank, which looks quite a bit better actually. Anyway, let's get on with getting that water out. Got to turn all the filter off and the wave maker as well. Okay, we are sucking. Oh, creating quite a draft in the house by having that window open with the hose out of it. There's no real other way. I'm literally just wafting everything around here. Get it in the water column, then hopefully it'll suck up as much of it as it can. Just kind of diluting everything here. I can see some areas down the back there on the glass that's still got a load of cyano attached to them. Couldn't see it before. Oh, there's quite a bit actually. I'm just going to keep wafting it all up because, you know, the more you can get into the water column, the more it's going to get taken out by this siphon from the hose.
waft it all that way. Never going to get everything, but dilute it as much as we can, eh? Whoa, that's some big crusty bits there of cyano. So crusty I can pick them up with my hand, chuck them out the window. So yeah, I just keep routinely doing that. It's taking out an absolute ton of it. But what I'm going to do this time, when I turn on the wave maker back on and cleaned out the filter so it's running even stronger, I'm going to point the wave maker right down in the front here, so you get massive circular flow, and that should keep any crud off the surface, but also pick up the stuff that's left as well. Bring it all the way back round the back of the tank, and then into the inlet of the filter, which is on that side. So yeah, that's what I'm basically going to do, create a circular flow, and that should stop any crud from just sitting there. You know, the more crud you get in one area, the more can collect after it, and then before you know it, algae's growing on it and everything like that. But to be honest, with how much I've turned down the lights, and it probably doesn't come across on the camera that I have, but trust me, I have. Like, the camera can compensate. Even though I've got it on manual ISO, which controls the light in and out, it still compensates by boosting certain things, but it's way less bright. I'd say it's a good 40% less bright than it was, and that's going to make all the difference. Oh, I reckon we've cleaned that up really nicely. Now the filter has actually got a fighting chance. All the fish though are hiding, except for, I saw some over here I think, yes. Sardines are mainly there, and one of the shellies as well. It's okay guys. Oh yeah, oh, there's our little tiddler. Gold ocellatus is still in his little home. Loves that shell. I was very careful when I was cleaning not to disturb it. The other fish seem like they can go anywhere, wouldn't bother him. That is his home. He's the smallest fish in the tank. I feel like it'd be criminal to disturb his place. And now it's just a case of filling the whole thing back up. There's sand on that. Here it is. I was scratching the glass there. That's annoying. Be careful. Right, it's time to switch the pump on, which I've got water coming from the tap, so I can temperature control it so it goes in the right temperature. Then I've got a switch here, right next to my pizza for dinner. Switch that on. Oh, there we go. And it is pumping it through. Oh, hello kitty. There we go. We are now filling. Awesome. The right temperature. I'll just put the tap back on now, because obviously it's going to come down in the sink. And then you can just, yeah, make sure you get the right temperature going in. And then we can also add our dechlorinator right now. And then just let it fill, and I'll keep monitoring the temperature in the sink, and that just makes it all absolutely perfect for the fish then. Right, we're full. Look at that, the fish already seem to be out and comfortable. There is zero flow at the moment. I'm going to get all that sorted in a second, but for now I need to heat this room up. Curtains are now shut, but I had that window open quite a bit for quite a while. So let's get a fire going. Should put my hoodie on. There we go. That'll be going in no time, nice and warm. My wife's a coldie, you see. Like, I'll be walking around now, like in a t-shirt, and she'll have about 5 layers on, so I always like to keep the living room nice and cozy so she's comfy. Otherwise, I'll get in trouble for making it cold in here. And to be fair, you like it nice and warm as well, don't you? Oh, she's roaring now. Fans going and everything. Right then, let's sort out that flow, because I want it going fully round. So the magnet is at the back of the wave maker. It's tucked in caught there. Have to bring it round. Okay, so I've never had it in this position I'm going to do now. Went right there, pointing directly downwards. Oh, there's a bit of algae on it. I'll get that off. Bit of cladophora, which I hate. So yeah, it's definitely a bit more unsightly there, but if it's going to do the job, and look, you can see it's sort of pointed downwards. So as it goes along here, it's going to pull everything behind it as well and just keep it going round. I think the plug was up here. There we go, it's on. There we go, look, you can see all these particles moving now. They weren't doing that before. Combine that with the filter outflow as well, and it's going to be enough that when the fish sort of swim over it and move it around, it's going to keep it in the water column and just keep it rotating. Look, yeah, might be on a lower setting though. I'll see if I can turn it up. Yeah, I think I had it on the wrong setting. I've turned it up now, and everything is just moving around way better. You can see now, look, everything's sort of sucking into it and then spitting back out again. I think it sucks in the middle, spits out the outer bits, I guess. You know, it's obviously got to draw water in to be able to shoot it out, but it's working a lot better. Now it's time to see how potentially clogged that bad boy is. Obviously I've unplugged it, so now I can take out the pre-filter and see if it's like clogged. I'm expecting it to be pretty clogged. I'm intrigued because I don't think I've ever actually cleaned this out. So this bit here is the pre-filter cartridge. This is what's going to hold most of the gunk. All the proper beneficial bacteria is in here. This is just a sponge. You can clean it with tap water and everything. It's probably fine to clean everything with tap water nowadays. People say you can't. I think that's a bit of a myth. Long exposure to chlorine is what kills beneficial bacteria. Rinsing it's not quite the same, but still. Right, let's see. What is it like? To be fair, there's some gunk in the bottom layers. Top layers, pretty darn good. I have seen much, much worse. So not too bad. That explains why the flow from the outlet wasn't actually that bad. Makes sense. I'll still clean them anyway. I mean, we're here now. Some air and that clearing out, and it should be good. It's a good amount of flow. I mean, that combined with the wave maker, I don't think stuff down low has got a chance now of settling. I might even bring the wave maker even lower if I need to. I might even get a bigger one. Just wait and see how it goes with this. I mean, there are options. Right, whilst we're waiting for that other tank to clear, I just want to show you my other home tank, which on the surface looks like it's gone wrong again. It hasn't at all. It's all grown to the top. So I recently harvested out this area here, which is already starting to grow back. I only needed a few stems, you see, and I wanted to clear that section out. And this section has gone all the way to the top looking nuts. It's very, very quick to sort though. So look, you can see all the glass, everything's good, everything's healthy. We just need to get in there really. Look at how luscious all of these stem plants have gone on the top. I'll hack these off and I'm going to take them back to the studio. Then I can plant them in other tanks back in the studio that, you know, need a bit filling out or something. I will keep some of them in here though, just to sort of replant the areas that I've trimmed off. Not too many though, because otherwise it just gets crazy like this. And also, you see this like mini Echinodorus that you can see down there? Well, that's actually grown, look, all the way at the top there as well. And if we come around and trace it, it's going all the way across the tank, all the way in here, it comes over here, and around there, and then it dips down somewhere into the substrate. Now I actually want this plant in my 8-foot tank in the studio, but I don't have anything like it at the moment. So this will be perfect. Trim this off, put it in a bag, take it in the morning, and plant it in the 8-foot. But right now, I just need to get hacking at these stems. So all of this looks way worse than it actually is. All I've got to do is scoop it back a bit, find the base of the stems, and it isn't actually that many because last time I trimmed this, I only replanted a few of them. I took the rest of the studio, so it's all coming out of just a couple of points, and already In 5 snips, look, I've cleared so much of that on this side. But it is much easier to pick it up as you go along because you can grab it from the base where you've sort of trimmed it from. Sometimes it's easier as well just to get in there with your hands and just rip it. It won't hurt the plant or anything. So like, oh, I thought I had more there. Look at this, look. It's leaving all these roots where it's growing horizontally. Out of each node, it's growing a brand new plant as well. I'm going to use all of these, and I don't like to waste any plants, you see. I just can't do it. Oh, that's a good... Oh, I've tangled it all. That's a good haul. Good haul. So many stem plants here, it's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, now we're making a good dent in it. Only a couple more sort of main stem parts to take. Look, there we go. It's literally taken me less than 5 minutes. And what's good now is I can see this little sort of mini Echinodorus. Take it right from the root area and keep it all as one, and I can break it all up tomorrow at the studio. I've got all of this Hydrocotyle luciliana as well. Another good plant again. I'm not wasting anything. My goodness, there's so many plants here. It's ridiculous. Look at that lot there. I have filled this whole thing up. It's just chock-a-block of stem plants. I'm going to bag all of this up. Can't wait to plant it all tomorrow. A lot of water on the floor, but have no fear. Paper towel is here. The moss has actually gone quite crazy in this area. Look at that. I think I still want that actually. That's very good quality moss. I'm going to keep that. Take that to the studio as well. The reason I'm taking it out is because it's just kind of blocking all the flow in this area. Whoa, that is chunky and thick there. It's kind of gone everywhere, which is good, because now I've got free moss. Oh my goodness, that's huge. I'm taking all of that. It's all going to grow back anyway. And then what I'll do is I'll just take these little pieces, like here, and literally all you've got to do, cram them back down the area down there. They'll find little gaps, and they'll just continue to fill it out again. That's the great thing about plants, look. Like, you get the initial investment, then you just do a little thing like we're doing here, and you've got enough to start a new tank up. And that's mainly the reason why I started getting into like multiple tanks. It's just because I didn't want to throw the plants away. So I just kept trimming them and making new tanks. And here we are today. You really do just have to get in there, to be honest, and just either push it down further where it's starting to come upwards, or take stuff out. But that already looks a lot neater, and it's going to be even better when the filter's cleared all the gunk, and also when the stems start growing back in again. I like that. It's a good amount. Bit there that can come up. Now this area here still needs tackling. I mean, it's not really letting any light in. I like all the Java ferns and Bulbitis in the middle, but all the stuff near the surface can be sort of cut back, and then you'll still get light coming down the sides again, but you'll still keep the composition that I like, which is that kind of island to the side that goes out into the open. At the moment, look, I can't film both areas without one blowing out with the light. So when I can get it to the point where I can see everything nice, that's when you know it's done a good job. There we go, that's made a massive dent in it now. This side's still a little bit dark, but it's okay to have some dark areas. We are getting even more shadows in this section because of the lily. Now, as beautiful as these leaves look on the top, problem is, once a lily gets to the surface like that, and it sort of learns where the surface is, it stops sending out the pads under the water. So these leaves down here were from before these ones reached the surface. Now, once you reach the surface, it stops producing leaves down at the bottom, and that's where I like to see it the most. I don't mind a few up at the surface, but if you've got multiple bulbs, and you can have some at the surface, you can have some at the bottom, but this is all coming from one bulb, and I think I prefer to have a sort of area down there with it. And the way around that is you just literally just
pluck off the ones that are coming to the surface, and then it just shoots out more leaves. Yeah, it feels kind of bad doing it, but you know, if you want the plant to continue how you like it, then it's kind of what you have to do. Oh, there's a leaf here that's doing exactly what I've just suggested. It's shooting out. It's this one here. It's shooting out to the surface as fast as it can, and that will grow several inches each day. Something about once it does hit that surface, it proper goes for it. Oh, hang on. I have got 2 plants here. Okay, I'm going to keep some. I'm going to keep this plant here as the one that stays under the water, and the one at the back there can do the surface. We've got the best of both worlds then. Yeah, look at this. We've got this one here. This is a whole bulb, this sort of plant here. We come over the top. These big ones at the back are shooting out from somewhere else, which I didn't plant. So it's obviously got there somehow. Such is the power of the plants and nature. That kind of is everything I stand for really with these planted tanks. I just sort of started and then they just do what they want. I'm happy to let them do so. So we've now got a ton of plants. We've got all of those stems. We've got all of the mini echinodorus and the hydrocotyle. We've got the moss bag. And then this is what I've just taken off from the edges. I'm going to replant a load of these reds and keep the greens as well, put them in the green bag, but I'm going to replant the reds in the middle. Yeah, just so we've still got a bit of colour really. I mean, look, I'm taking a whole group of them, taking it down to the substrate, and I'll just push it in a gap. And it'll stay down there. I'm pushing it with my fingers. There we go, just a nice bit of colour. That one isn't looking too good, but there we go. It's easy as that. And then you see, not only have we trimmed everything back, we've also still got nice full plants straight away that are going to grow and produce even more for us as time goes by, which I'm all for. Never have enough plants. Right then, look at that. Looking great. Oh, keyholes are getting active. Look at the size of them now. They are getting much bigger. They're becoming the showpieces of the tank, just like I wanted for them. Proper keyhole at the side there as well, look. That's awesome. Oh, there's so many babies coming out of the woodwork. That's not the right saying, but yeah. We've got a lot of platy and molly babies in here. I just taste, oh, look, there's Henry's one green neon rasbora. Still going strong. Yeah, all I need to do now is just pick up all the little trimmings on the surface and then we're done. I've had a captive audience this whole time as well. Bonnie! She's too interested in what's going on. It's all new. What's this? Hello. Kate's also watching. And there we go. All that's left to do is just sit back and just wait for it to clear now. So future me is back at the studio. I've got the plants here. I'm not sure what I want to do with the moss yet. I'm going to probably just put that in a storage tank, ready for another build, but we can definitely put a ton of the... I'm going to put the greens of the mini echinodorus. It's got another name, which I'll put up now, if I remember. Probably won't. It's changed name recently, that's the thing. It used to be called something, then they changed it. Anyway, I think that's going to look great in the 8-foot, going across all the sort of gravel there, just adding a sense of like grassiness, rough grassiness to that front area. Then I'm going to divide up all the reds with Stefan now as well to make them into little pluggable. It's not a fun job, especially when you've got this much, but it's well worth the effort. Let's do it.
So it's now the next day, and here is how we are looking. Both tanks looking, you know, I'd say better than perfect again. Oh, to be fair, that leaf needs sorting. Oh, excuse me, Bella. Yeah, other than that one, the rest are looking good. My cat was like, what are you doing? But yeah, look at that. Looking so nice now. See, you just got a hint of the reds poking through, but we've still retained the full natural vibe in the whole tank. We've still got the plants going absolutely nuts over the top as well. And the cichlid tank, look, now looking nice and fresh. And all the colours on the rock have calmed down a bit. We've just got that nice lighter green now, and that's exactly the look I actually wanted to go for. It creates such a realistic kind of, I don't know, feel to the whole thing. Look at these guys in the middle. I never did manage to get the baby fairy cichlid on camera actually, which is so annoying because my wife came in at one point and was like, oh, I've just seen the baby, I've just seen the baby. So now, what's that one there? Well, that's a sardine. But yeah, rest assured, it is there. It's just so shy when I come up to the tank. This is where it lives, in this little cave. Something's in there, but I think that's one of the parents. Now obviously, as it grows, it's going to be coming out more and more, so hopefully in a future sort of video, I'll be able to see it, but I'm really pleased we've been able to bring this tank back to life. I mean, back to life is a bit of an exaggeration because at the end of the day, the fish were completely happy either way. I just mean more back to life visually. You know, it's a good lesson there. You could have some real big problems, and that looked horrendous. That looked like start it again, basically. With a little bit of cleanup, some tweaks here and there. I'm confident now that the sand's going to stay nice and clear. I might even add in another power head on the other side just to make sure that we've got more movement across and there's no dead zones. But other than that, it should stay pretty good. The lighting isn't anything like as bright as it was, but it's more than bright enough to be able to enjoy the tank. And my planted tank, although it looked kind of disastrous, was just plants, and which I want. I actually think it's great that they can grow that fast, that high, and that healthy. You know, now we can use them in those other tanks. And it's just a fantastic tank that just keeps growing now and just always looks great. And that's what I wanted in my home tanks, them to always look great, except for when they don't. But that's my fault. Obviously, I've got so many tanks in the studio, but I'm going to keep on top of this. Yeah, Kate's happy, I'm happy, everything looks good. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I'll see you on the next one.